All right, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Custom OGT. This song, we're returning to the one and only king of rock and roll himself, Mr. Elvis Presley. This is, of course, for Carolyn. Carolyn's a fantastic OG team member. Always gives us some cool Elvis stuff to check out, both famous and obscure. This one falls on the obscure side of things. This is a song called I Was the One. I keep wanting to say I Am the One. There's a lot of songs called I Am the One. Anyway, this is called I Was the One. This video it's rehearsal footage. I think the song came out in 1956. It was the B-side to a very famous single. That would be Heartbreak Hotel, one of Elvis's most famous songs. So this one obviously got obscured. So if Carolyn is sending it to us, going to bet it's got something special going on. Carolyn has never steered us wrong when it comes to Elvis. So, yep, I'm going to be joined here by my friend Danny, and we are going to dive into this bad boy. So once again, Carolyn, thank you very much, and let us now introduce or bring on the heart and soul custom creator, custom OGT.
Oh, I ain't like that.
We're both rusty.
Yeah, I have a doctor's note. I've been out for a little while, but I am back. So let's enjoy Mr. Elvis Presley here.
Back with a new setup, it looks like.
Yeah, I've put some people on the wall. The Warning, Hank Jr., Elvis Presley, Pantera, lots of people, Mr. T.
A wall without genre.
I about to say Tanya Turner or Tina Tucker. Tina Turner. Yeah, we just listened to some Bo Stevens there singing about Elvis and that little pause there while I got my coffee. Took a breathing treatment. The National Treasury would be in Tupelo, Mississippi. We put Hank Williams' picture on $100 bills. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd had it made. Play a little Dixieland, boys. So still can't believe the story of the storm when Elvis was young. You know, it's like there was a calling to be there, and you know, growing up so poor and with an abusive mother, so it had to be from what I understand, he had to kind of hide to even play when he was really young because she was so overprotective because of losing Jesse. I think it was Jesse, right? Twin.
Yeah.
I watched a lot on Elvis here lately, so yeah. Much respect to the man. I have a 1970 Caroline, something about words in Caroline. I don't know why I have that downloaded. This is like Caroline, like Carolina is spelled. Caroline. So anyway,
it's for you, Carolyn.
Let's check this out. Yeah, it's not spelled like your name.
I was the one who taught her to lie. Now, the way that she kisses you now, and you know the way she touches your cheek, I taught her how. See what this is? What this is, Dennis, is these are some of the first songs I did, you know, long before World War II. So, yeah, the olden days. So I'd like to do a few of those. It's only 426. So, before World War II, it's only, you know, I was just a baby.
Yeah, he's not lying. He when he went to the war, the whole time he was there, right around 2 years, I think, steadily, like every 6 months, maybe even more than that, he still had enough songs, backlogged, I guess you'd call it, backlogged,
Yeah.
to be able to put out music the whole time he was there. So when he went to the war, he was popular. When he come back, it's kind of messing with your head, period, to come back into normal living. And to come back not only a star, but world famous to where people are dropping at your knees and fainting when you walk by, but you were just in the jungle shooting people. You know what I'm saying? Like, had to be hard. Had to be hard. They say the great ones are the ones that carry the heaviest loads. So I'm sure that's you can tell. He's having memories.
I do think art is very helpful for helping lighten some of those burdens. But like you said, just adjustments from when you're out at war and you're essentially supposed to be a killing machine, for lack of a better term, and then you have to come back into civilian life. It's like, all right, you can be normal now. And you have to, they spend all this time drilling these things into you, then you're expected to flip a switch and turn them off. It usually doesn't work that way.
Nothing works that way. I don't know why in the world they think that could. Because
yep.
Even kids, it takes them a while to get acclimated to spring break. It's the most fundamental parts of our life. What was cooler than summer vacation? You know what I'm saying? That's the coolest thing ever in my life. Was even though
and at least
that long.
Your average normal life offers some kind of tranquility, solitude, something like that. He's coming back to stardom, so fame. I can't even imagine.
Like no one ever had. I mean, and arguably ever has. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not definitely haven't within the number of competing forces. I mean, you had basically the Beatles and Elvis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, in their prime, or maybe Led Zeppelin. I mean, or Black Sabbath. I mean, but they weren't pulling in the numbers Elvis and the Beatles were.
Yeah.
There's a huge argument over which I think the Beatles sold the most music, Elvis sold the most singles, is what we found when we looked it up.
Yeah.
But everyone else was light years behind. So.
Yeah, and the adoration for the Beatles is spread out amongst 4 dudes, whereas with Elvis, it's all 4 of those.
Elvis,
focused on one dude. I am going to say though, like even on a rehearsal, like his voice is really solid. Obviously, like he obviously worked and trained and practiced to get his voice this good, but there's obviously a lot of natural talent there as well, and just his low-key charisma. Like obviously he knew when to turn it up when there's a big crowd and whatever, but just him sort of like looking at the camera, talking to the band, it's cool to see.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm not sure that's charisma. He just melts you when he looks at you. I mean, he's such a beautiful specimen. His eyes, it's almost like he looks like AI. He looks like there's something.
Yeah, you
fake.
told AI.
He looks so perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Generate the most handsome man ever. Bam, there it is. Yeah.
And I wouldn't think, I would be able to tell that, because I don't look very handsome in. But I mean, it's even when he looks at the camera, I'm like, damn, dude, don't look at me like that. I get it. I mean, yeah, he's just, even as a kid, he was, already you could see that his eyes, man.
So, some of the first songs I did, long before World War II. So, the olden days. So I'd like to do a few of those.
See, they're laughing.
There's only 426. So,
he's not mad, but he's not laughing. I mean, he giggled there, but he's remembering dark times. I mean, and in those days, like you said, that wasn't cool. So, yeah. bad for him.
Before World War II, that's all, I was just a baby. I was the one who taught her to cry the way that she, I don't know the words, you know the way she touches your cheek. I taught her how. I was a one. I used to do all the background stuff too, I sung all the background. Who learned a lesson when she broke my heart? I was the one. That's all we're gonna do, fella. Just that much, because I don't know the words to it. Here, yeah, that's it. That's where they ended. Just nothing.
Get the tempo down.
I was the one. It just kind of faded off. Everybody's standing around going, "What happened? What happened? What happened?"
I was the one who taught her to kiss the way that she kisses you now. And you know the way she touches your cheek. Well, I taught her how. I was the one who taught her to cry when she wants you under a spell. The sight of the tears drives you out of your mind. I taught her so well. And then
Yeah, he's young in that recording. I think he was much older in that session where he was practicing.
Yes.
Well, he said when I've done these, before I went to World War II. So you can tell his voice isn't quite there yet. And younger people who don't know any better, I hear talk about now. How, man, it sounded terrible back then. People they didn't sound as good back then as they do now. No, it's just that technology is just now catching up with how good they sounded. People just don't realize that. When you hear some of these remastered tracks, I'm sure Elvis. And by the way, Carolyn, and I don't know any of Elvis' songs really good enough not to react to it. Maybe Love Me Tender. I probably know that one well. I knew In the Ghetto as good as I do any of them. That's probably Before Kentucky Rain was one of my favorite songs. And I don't really know Jailhouse Rock that well. I mean, I could react to it. I've never heard it in headphones and never studied the lyrics or nothing like that. So, I love this. This shows there's a lot of complexity to Elvis. You can say what people can say what they want about how he played the instruments. He understood instrumentation. He understood music. He understood format, structure, harmonies. He was a very smart musician, period. So.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with every Elvis song that we've done, how well they've been arranged. I'm surprised, like when I think of Elvis, the voice, I think of that sort of deep, resonant sound that he became known for. This is a much higher nasal sound that
George Jones.
definitely not used to hearing coming from Elvis.
When they were young, they all had a Hank Jr. He's got a super deep voice.
Yeah, I mean age is good in that regard. Oversee
Axl Rose. Listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Axl. Your voice is gone. It sounds like a car axle.
It was on that rehearsal. I think the rehearsal was from 1970, and this is from 1956, if I remember right. I think those might be the dates.
He's literally been through a war and back,
that were confusing me. But in that rehearsal, his voice was resonant. It was strong. was deep, coming from here. So you could definitely hear the maturity in his voice there. Once again, though, these backing vocals. This has happened on several Elvis songs.
And then there's one or maybe two guys. It shows three there. I don't think there's three in the recording.
Yeah, the baritone or bass guy. Like he's once again sort of.
No.
Yeah, I thought there was what I heard. Thought it was a bass slide. It's like, no, that sounded like a voice. So this is a classic 50s doo-wop type song, but it's done like it. This is as well done as it's ever going to be done. It's just the harmonies there. Like there's a reason that became a staple. It's a cool sound, and it's something where you can have sort of a sad song, and those harmonies and the nature of the melody will kind of make you smile, almost in spite of yourself.
Well, now that's something that Elvis helped create, was the harmonies, along with many of the African American culture for sure, which Elvis, leaned into that a lot. I mean, that definitely there's some mirror images there. Jailhouse Rock was a lady's song. She sang it, and it was number one on the whatever the African American Airways were then, whatever it was called back then. Before Elvis did it, of course, his version went way more popular. But he had a way of doing doo-wop or rock and roll or blues or country or he could do whatever he wanted. So very multi-genre vocalist.
Versatile.
Taught her how. I was the one who taught her to cry when she once you wonder the smell, the sight of the tears drives you out of your mind. I taught her so well, and then one day I had my love as perfect as could be. She lived, she loved, she laughed, she cried, and it was all for me. I'll never know who taught her to lie. Now that it's over and all, who learned a lesson when she broke my heart? I was the one. And then one day
I bring it down. So he almost could laugh through his bravado. It's really cool. He did it. He did it there.
It feels, I think mostly, obviously physically his voice matured, but I basically think he learned what worked best for him and sort of built his style around that, because here he's varying the placement of his voice. He's making some very interesting sounds. It's a very sort of experimental vocal approach. He's throwing everything out there. And again, this is relatively early in his career, so he's trying to see what feels good, what sounds good, what people respond to. So that it's interesting listening to this and seeing his evolution as a singer. He's trying so many different things here, and I think he pretty much learned which ones worked and built his new style around that.
Yeah, he's still playing with his vocals.
Yeah, because you hear that low resonant sound come up every now and then, but it's one of many sounds and placements he's using.
Formulate how old he is. Tell us when we get done.
Now that it's over and all, who learned a lesson when she broke my heart? I was the one. And then one day I had my love as perfect as could be. She lived, she loved, she laughed, she cried, and it was all for me. I'll never know. Taught her to lie now that it's her.
That's two great examples of diphthongs there. What if you hear people say that? Was, but want on. This whatever vowels in the middle, it dips. Like, I don't know where the bone come from. it dips. Was, but want on. Like, that's a double diphthong.
Double dipping.
And the bravados when they that I ain't doing that again.
When it shakes, essentially. He was 21 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a kid.
Why, hell.
She lived, she loved, she laughed, she cried, and it was all for me. I'll never know. Taught her to lie now that it's her.
Thank you very much.
Also has a very, very fast, very even vibrato.
He does, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. Also want to shout out to the pianist in that. The piano in that was great. Just had it just the right amount of rhythm and melody to the piece, so they gave it that was sort of like the backbone of it. That bass singer
was great.
The bass singer and the backing vocals, though, like I kept hearing him and thinking that there was like frogs in the background or something, sort of croaking. Love that dude. So it's even better than like the actual bass instrument. Just bring a bass singer, let him do his thing. But yeah, I can't call myself the a huge doo-wop fan, but that song was good. I enjoyed it, and just very rich texture musically. Just with the piano, all the different vocals that were going on, because there were some ladies singing in the background as well. How the backing vocals kind of interweaved, and then Elvis himself out there, young as he was, and still learning as he was, ridiculous amount of talent and stage presence for so young.
Yeah, I mean, Bob. Yeah, I mean, he was one of a kind. He's the epitome of the quintessential American dream. You get everything you want, and it kills you.
Yep.
So it's a hard thing to cover, I'm sure. I got a little short on the channel somewhere that says people are like musicians. Or how's it going? People are like music. Some talk a lot and some just make noise or something. Anyway, it says that music is freedom, but that don't mean that the musicians are free. They pay for what they do, or what they bring in the world, sometimes with their life. So. I use the Hank Williams Jr. quote to say, so leave them boys alone, let them sing their song. Hank and Ernest Tubb.
Yeah, the song is called "I Was the One." He's always going to be. There's never going to be another one like him.
Ain't no way. That's Alabama. Ain't no way without you in my life. All right. What's up, everybody? We took some extra time on this because we wanted to. So, thank you,
It's Elvis, and Carolyn's worth it. So,
no doubt. What's up?